All right, we're live, people. Here to talk about our Detroit Lions with their dominant win last night over the Green Bay Packers, 34-20 in Lambeau Field. Well, son, before we get to last night's festivities, let's start with a bit of good news that I have on the screen right here. The NFL has reinstated Jamison Williams and Titans offensive lineman Nicholas Pettit Farai, I guess that's how you pronounce his name. But Jamison Williams, instead of us seeing him in 3 weeks, he's actually gonna be back next week. Home game against the Panthers. What are your thoughts on the return of Jamison Williams?
Oh man, I'm real excited. A lot of people have been, I mean, not hating on him or anything. I feel like a lot of people we've been kind of down on him because some people are saying he hasn't proved himself and stuff. But I feel like he's gonna have that chip on his shoulder. And honestly, I think he's gonna have a pretty big game. I definitely think he's gonna have a touchdown. And yeah, I'm really excited to see him. So I think it's gonna open up that dimension to our offense that we
Oh yeah.
need.
Oh yeah. He's definitely gonna take the top off of the defense. And now we have someone who can make it deep, who the safeties have to pay attention to. That's going to actually open up the middle of the field more for guys like Sam Laporta. And to be honest, is much needed. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jamison on some jet sweeps, some end rounds. I think that we're going to see him get the ball quite a bit. It's also going to take some more pressure off of Amon St. Brown. And I think that Jamison Williams is ready to prove that he can be the guy. So I'm very excited. I cannot wait to our show next week when we talk about the home game against the Panthers. Uh,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying I agree.
Okay. With that, let's talk about the game last night. It was a dominant performance by our Lions. They win 34-20. We were up 27-3 at the half. Before we kind of break down the game, let's talk about both sides of the ball. Let's start with the offense. If you look at the stats right here on the screen, we see what Jared Goff did. We know that the third play into the game, he had that bad interception, but the rest of the game, 19 for 28 for 210, and he threw a touchdown on top of that pick. What's your thoughts on Jared Goff?
Yeah, it was a pretty decent game. I guess it was kind of what I expected of him. It was just him kind of being a game manager again. And like I said, like there's nothing wrong with that. That is kind of how the Lions have their offense set, anyways. But I did like that he's starting to at least try to roll out the pocket. you know, I I uh,
Yes.
I really like that. I just like that he's being a lot more aggressive. So I'm happy with how he's playing, to be honest, for the most part. And I feel like he's starting to look real comfortable with the team and stuff. So
Yes, I would. I'm going to second that. What about our running backs? We had David Montgomery with a crazy game. 30. Oh, you talking about a workhorse, 32 carries, 121 yards, only 3.8 yards in average, but he had 3 touchdowns to go along with that. We have following up, we had Khalif Raymond, who had the next longest, who had the next most rushing yards, 1 carry for 40 yards. And
that's yeah.
then Gibbs, 8 for 40 yards. What are your thoughts on the running backs?
Yeah, I thought they did pretty decent, but like I was saying, people like I don't really see it being much different as the season goes on, unless for some reason Ben Johnson just has something up his sleeve. I know some people are saying that on Twitter and stuff that maybe Ben Johnson is saving Jameer Gibbs for better teams down the line and stuff. And I get it; he's a rookie.
Okay.
Some people are saying he's a rookie. I guess they're okay with how he's doing, but I just feel like it's kind of unfair because of how people were with Swift last year. I just feel like I said, if the Lions continue to use him like this, if they continue to give him the ball under center and stuff, I don't really see him ever having too many breakout games. I feel like they need to switch up how they're giving him the ball. But maybe Ben Johnson, maybe he has a plan though. Maybe they're really just trying to slowly put him in. But like I said, I never think he's gonna have more carries than Montgomery. Like so I feel like some people think that like they're gonna switch as the season goes on. I don't think that. Like I don't think Montgomery will get 32 carries every game, but He definitely will have a lot more than Gibbs, probably.
Son, you are right on that because it's starting to. I know it's 4 games. Believe it or not, we've already 4 games in. I
Yeah.
know it's been 4 games, but it doesn't seem like right. At least right now, Gibbs is going to be that guy. I mean, 8 carries is fine. He did average 5 yards a carry, but it seems that the Lions are bent on David Montgomery being the workhorse, which is what he was last night. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think if he keeps running like that, I think that they will keep giving him the ball 25 times a game and more.
Yeah.
Okay, the offensive line. Since we're talking about the running backs, Jared Goff was sacked twice, but I'm gonna say those are on Goff because every time that they snap the ball, son, I start to clock in my head 1,000, 1,000, and both times that he got sacked, I got to 4 seconds in my head. So I'm saying that he's holding on to the ball too long when he can just throw it away and not take those sacks. But the offensive line, if you look at the running backs. That's what 160, 200. We or what was that about 211 yards total rushing? Yeah,
Hmm.
right there. Actually, right there. Yeah, 211 yards with 3 touchdowns. The offensive line was totally dominant last night, in my opinion. Um. Oh, yeah, and by the way, son, Taylor Decker played last night. I mean, I know you saw that because we were, texting about it, but I didn't know that he was going to play. It was good to see him back out there trying to give it
Yeah,
a
yeah,
go.
yeah. I know he contributed to one of those touchdown plays.
He did. He did. If you look at the receivers, we see one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 7 receivers. Jared Goff targeted 7 receivers. It was led by Josh Reynolds, 3 for 69 yards. Amon St. Brown had 5 for 56 and a touchdown. Sam Laporta, 4 for 56. What did you think about our running backs? Excuse me, receivers.
Yeah, no, that dude Sam Laporta is something else. And honestly, that's the one guy. I'm not saying the Lions didn't run everything how we always say, but I remember during the draft show we were saying that was a guy. He's so fast that they probably can use him like in the flex kind of, even though he's a
True,
tight end. And
true.
that's what the Lions have been doing a lot. And I feel like that's part of the reason why he's been so successful. So honestly, he's been the main guy that's really been surprising me. And and then I guess I got to give my credit to Josh Reynolds too. Knock on wood, he has not been dropping many balls at all. So he's actually been showing out lately. I mean, even though he only got 3 receptions, I mean, he got 70 yards on those. So
He did. I'm gonna tell you who has been disappointing is Marvin Jones. Man, we've seen him
um,
overnight, man. I
yeah,
mean,
he's a thief.
yeah, he is. He is. Marvin Jones haven't contributed anything to these 4 games.
Yeah,
And just to think, son, we were happy when we got him back.
yeah, yeah.
You know. Okay, let's move on and talk about our defense. If you look at the stats right here, Brian Branch, who hurt his ankle in the game, I hope that he's okay. I haven't heard anything negative yet. Led the way with 7 tackles.
Yeah.
Derek Barnes with 5, Jerry Jacobs, Kaminsky with 5. Few guys had 5. Let's see who stood out with the sacks. Kaminsky also had a sack. Lee McNeil had a sack, 1.5 for Hutch, and Charles Harris, who he got half a sack, but to be honest, Charles Harris' impact was, oh, I'm sorry, and Bugs got a sack. But Charles Harris' impact to me was great, even though he might have only had half a sack. He was really, really giving that offensive tackle the work. If you were really like watching him during the game, and to pile on our defense once again, son, look at what we did against the run. 27
Look,
yards.
like ever
27
since the
yards.
Panthers game, they woke up. They woke up.
Yes. So we
uh,
shut down the Panthers, and now we shut down the Packers. Yes, it's true. Aaron Jones may have been dealing with an injury, but guess what? Our left tackle Taylor Decker was also dealing with an injury, so it just is what it is. What did you think about our defense?
oh no, I thought the defense was pretty lights out for the most part. Even Jerry Jacobs for that, I don't know. I think it was like an iffy pass interference that he had,
It
but
was iffy. It was.
but Cam Sutton, he's been that dude. Like I said, he's just been a guy that they don't even show him too much because he's locking down. Like so, we really don't even have to worry about him.
And that's
So
the and that's the beautiful thing about corners who are really good. Like son, that I'm a big Deion Sanders fan, and he was my favorite player. And one thing I noticed when I did this is before we had all of these channels, but every time I got a chance to watch Sanders, I did. If I heard that the Atlanta Falcons were going to be on TV, I was going to watch because I wanted to see my guy. what you would notice if you ever watch a full game of when Sanders played was that you didn't really see him.
Right.
That's because he was locking the receivers up. So guys like that don't get a lot of shine. Darrell Reeves was not an exciting player. Why? Because he was locking receivers up. I think that's the reason why we don't see a lot of Cam Sutton. Cam Sutton is living up to the hype of what they said he was going to be when we signed him out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would have to agree with that. Even though Brian Branch, well, I mean that's just PFF rankings. Brian Branch is, he's been balling. He's a ninth rated,
I would
graded
agree.
PFF corner. We've been doing pretty good with the rookie cornerback.
I would agree. I would agree. And then I would like to touch on special teams. My guy Jack Fox, he did it again. 4 punts, an average of 45 yards. I've always said that a good punter should all. I've always said that you should average 45 yards. You know why? Because that's flipping the field. Because the field is only 100 yards. So if you're putting up punts 45 to 50 yards, that means you're literally flipping the field.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he did his thing. I'm looking at Riley Patterson, 2 for 2 on field goals, and he also hit on all of his extra points. Let's talk about the game a little bit, son. The first half, nothing but dominance. After that interception by Jared Goff, we go into halftime 27-3. I have to tell you something that I did not like about the first half. I felt that when the score was 24-3, I felt that in those last few minutes, because we knew we were getting the ball back, I felt like we were. I'm sorry, no, we didn't get the ball back. I'm sorry, to start the second half. I felt like we were playing for a field goal instead of playing for a touchdown. I would have liked to seen us be a lot more aggressive and go for another touchdown and went into halftime 31-3 instead of 27-3. That would have taken some more of the hope off of Green Bay. But it was a pretty dominant first half. Even I mean, think about it. Even after Jared Goff threw the interception, son, our defense locked down, and the only thing they got out of that interception was 3 points. What was your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I actually wanted to present what you're talking about. I think they might have showed that in these highlights, but
Oh, okay. You have something for me?
yeah, yeah, I would say yeah, I got it at the part. I don't know if I can pull it up. Can I pull it up now?
Let me see. Yes, you said. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get it. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. I think I had to stop sharing. Okay. Sorry about this, people. There it is. There we go, son. I was just waiting for it to pop
Let's just
up.
type this.
Okay, we
My
good.
God, man, so yeah, what did he have? 3 touchdowns or 4?
He had 3.
Okay. Yeah, it's just the defense was locking up too much for them not to. We really should have had the game over in the first half, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, and I'm glad you pulled this up because this is exactly what I'm talking about. 4:22 left in the second. Right now, we're on our own side of the field. There was Montgomery right there with another big run. We can kind of break this down and see what we were talking about. See, boom, where we got right there. Yep. Who was that? Yeah, St. Brown across
Yeah,
the
yeah,
middle. I
yeah.
remember
That
this
was
play.
decent.
It was. Now, okay, now we're on the Packer side of the field with I can't see because our logo's in the way, but with a certain amount of with some time left.
It was
Big catch right there, but oh, there we go. I see it, son. 2 minutes left. Okay, 2 minute warning. Because I want to talk about what I'm saying, like where we went. I felt okay, bam, good. Oh, look at that.
I don't know where they
Down to
went
the
wrong. It was
23.
decent.
Okay, okay,
You
go.
know, they
There we
skipped.
go. Under a minute left. Up, nothing
But
in the
on that
ground.
3rd and 6, those 3 plays, those were all underneath shots. I remember.
They were, they were.
Well, that's why.
And,
So,
and you know what? Now that you showed me the highlights, maybe I'll correct myself a little bit. I mean, maybe they were trying to go for the kill shot, but I didn't realize that we didn't get that 3rd and 6. For some reason, I'm thinking that we ran for it on 3rd and 6. But
well, either way, I remember that they weren't trying to get it because they definitely were throwing underneath, and I think Jameson Williams would change stuff
I,
like that.
okay, that's a good point. You're right. What you saying is right. We could have went on top, went over top,
Yeah.
maybe a couple of times. Okay, that was a good way to definitely end the half right there. So that's what I want to say about that. Now let's talk about the second half. The score ended up being 34-20, which means that we were outscored 17-7 in the second half. Watching right here, we see the Packers marching down the field. What do you think happened? How did the How did the Packers come away with 17 points in the second half?
Yeah, I don't think it's so. I just think maybe they just made small adjustments. I don't think it's so much on the defense that they scored 17 points. I guess I just don't think that's too bad. I mean, they let up three, like they shut them down completely in the first half. So I guess you kind of have to expect that they let up a little bit. But then you see that was just straight confusion. It seems like it was
And
on the
that
Steelers
happened
side.
against the Chiefs too,
Yeah.
and the Seahawks.
But on offense or on the defensive side, I know what they did for sure. Dan Campbell pretty much played conservative for the whole second half, so they had easy adjustments to make. I don't
Right,
think
right.
like they didn't really like Dan Campbell didn't change up what he was doing basically. So they made their adjustments and um basically that was enough to stop the Lions, I guess. I mean, like we still came away with the win, but it was enough to hold us down where they still felt like they were in the game because for some reason Christian Watson was celebrating like it was a close game or something.
I have always never understood that either. When players got there and start celebrating like the game's close.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
was
you
that
this
crazy.
was the play I was talking about, son, last night with you right there. That play right there to Jaden Reed. The clock hits 000. The refs did not blow the whistle, and I think that Harris just got caught off guard.
Yeah.
That was probably one of their best plays. Well, one of them, their best plays of the game. But that's what happened. And this right here is
Yeah, I didn't see
inexcusable.
him do that.
That play right here is inexcusable. All the linebackers cannot drop back in coverage with Jordan Love. Jordan Love can move some. Look at the linebackers. You're gonna see Derek Barnes. Look at him slide right out the way. Love sees it and just right up the middle. You know, he's not Jared Goff. I mean, he can run a little bit.
Yeah,
And
pretty
then
much
he's about to
every
get almost
quarterback.
decapitated right here by Kaminsky. You know, sorry, young man. You are not getting that 2 point conversion. You know, stopped him right there. You know, and then in the fourth, see that type of play right there. That's what we need to see them do more of with Gibbs. Really, son, Gibbs needs to get the ball only in the open field. I'm talking jet sweeps. I'm in the rounds. I'm talking out handoffs out of the shotgun, draw plays, open right there. That'd have been a good Gibbs play. I mean, Montgomery did his thing right there, but I'm saying like that's what we have to do with Gibbs.
And my thing is, I'm not like I said. People are only so happy that with because all like and like I said, I don't have a problem with the accounts on Twitter, but sometimes they just defend the Lions staff so much. But it's like if we were 1-4 or something, everyone would be super mad and be like, "Why isn't Gibbs in the game?" So
Right.
I'm still gonna
Right.
be like that, and why aren't we using Gibbs? Because like I'm still gonna remember how we did Swift, and they're basically doing Gibbs the same way. So we
I
really gotta
agree.
wonder why. Like I don't. I don't know, but I'm sure I don't know. Maybe we'll see it more. But in my opinion, for how the Lions like to run the ball, it's clearly meant for a guy like David Montgomery. So I don't know.
You know, son, it's except for some years in the mid '90s, the Lions have always been this way since I've been alive. There were some years in the mid '90s when we had Scott Mitchell, where the Lions were really more. That was a crazy catch. Where the Lions were really more of a throwing team, you know. But the Lions have mostly been a running team, a team that likes to run the ball,
I
no
mean,
matter.
how did they run the ball with Barry Sanders? Like, did they run that more out of the shotgun? Because Barry Sanders,
No, Barry Sanders. It was always they ran sometimes, but Barry Sanders was more. It was more from under center, more from under center. But Barry Sanders was a there. He was very much more elusive. First of all, he was more elusive. Secondly, he was more thick, especially his lower half of his body, like his the big tree trunk legs. He was thicker than like
yeah,
Gibbs is. So, but Barry would just, but how Barry Sanders ran the ball, son, was he would just find a hole. Like you know how you're a football player, so you're like you know how it's designed like they call like I don't know like 44 I or something. That's
yeah,
usually like the fullback up the four hole. Barry Sand you could call a play like that for Barry Sanders, but if he didn't see that hole open, he would just bounce it outside or he would bounce to a different hole. That's how he ran the ball. You know, he was that type of player. You know, I don't really see Gibbs as that type of player. I think that Gibbs is a guy that we need to see more in the open space. You know, if you give him the ball in open space, I think he's going to be able to do damage, you know, because I think that he should easily be able to average 65, 67 yards a game
yeah.
rushing, you know, if they just run right. I mean, I was sitting there watching the game last night on a lot of these runs, son, and I was saying, bro, why are they not throwing sweeps? You know, and that was a gutsy play right there. Dan Campbell, you know, going for it on fourth down. Let's go ahead and just end this game. You
Yeah, I
know,
didn't even realize that was the last. The last drive.
Yeah, yeah. I think we did too. So, well, well, people, it was a great win in my opinion. A dominant win in my opinion. Yes, the Packers did make a comeback, but the game really wasn't even that close to be honest. Jordan Love made a couple of good throws. There was a couple of good plays in here. And for the Packers fans, some encouragement. They may have another quarterback for another 15 years. It's amazing that for 30 years, from 1992 to 2022, these guys had two Hall of Fame quarterbacks. It's almost not fair. And we'll see what this young man do. But you know what? I hope Jordan Love does good, just not 2 times a year when they play the Lions.
Yeah,
Other than
I
that, go ahead and
agree.
do your thing, young man. Did we forget anything about the game, son?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, until next week when we give our preview on the Panthers, I think we covered it all. Good win by our Lions. If you have been following our ticker at the bottom of the screen, follow us on Twitter. Check out the YouTube page, and you see right on the screen our TikTok page. We're all over the place just talking Lions football. Follow us there, share us there. Otherwise, I think we covered it all, son. If y'all don't have anything else, we'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.